Hello Capricorn, kia ora koutou katoa. This is your January or mid-January 2022 reading for this month, I guess. I don't even know why I said that, but it's there's been a few disruptions in trying to get these last three readings for this month finished and up online today. So there has been, and there may be a few disruptions that have been kind of held you off or felt like it's held you off, and you may have been, some of you may have been finding it challenging to, I guess, get into your flow of things, or being a little bit frustrated and getting things flowing and that sort of thing. So maybe for some of you it's not been quite clear, or there's some of you that's or it's, you haven't got quite the rest of the information, or there are some pieces to the puzzle or something that is not quite fitting, whatever that is going on. It could be around work or a project or something like that. It could be a family situation. Just what I'm hearing is just remember to, across the board, there could be, thinking outside of the square as to how this might pertain to you, the guidance or the messages that are coming through. And some of it will be clarification, and some of it will be more, in the near future. So that is coming through or coming up for you. And some of you might actually be going through this right now. So I feel like the energies that are coming through is just to like center, calm, and focus, or settle, reset your energy yourself. So whatever is going on with you, it's like taking a look at what is going on in the inside as well as the outside, as to what is really going on there. So what I'm hearing is like breathe through it and work through like discovering what the truth is. What is the truth actually is as to why you are responding, feeling, seeing, what is happening around you at the moment. So what I'm hearing is you may have been thinking, oh gosh, that's karma that's come around or something, and you're maybe seeing that or feeling that, or you may be like misunderstanding something, or have misunderstood something in the past, or there's something or some things that have come around that have like information that has kind of rattled you for a bit, and you can't understand what is going on. So it's kind of like what I'm hearing is just not pushing it, because today is a full moon energy, well, in some parts of the world, but it's actually for us here in New Zealand. I follow the New Zealand calendars that have it that are worked around, because we're on the other side of the world. So tomorrow is actually full moon energy here. Is where I'm all drawn to. So I mean, you go with whatever it is that you feel is more correct for you, what resonates for you. So anyway, so we have a full moon energy coming in tomorrow, and the theme is that nurturing goes deep. So which is why they're talking about this is about you going a little bit deeper and figuring out what is going on within you, and also without of you as well. And it's like this discovering and rediscovering yourself and bringing something up, but be kind to yourself basically. So anyway, we're going to start off with clairsentience here. So the first card out, and I'm using the Angel Oracle deck today, the Archangel one, sorry. In clairsentience, Archangel Raguel, notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance, which is kind of what they're talking about, because our intuition or our empathic side of us, what we feel, or our with our senses, is really is our intuition basically, and is our beacon, or I want to say beacon, it can be a beacon, but it's more I was going to say like our divining source, really, that is telling us something that is that could be going on, which is the general terminology is like listen to your gut feeling or that intuitive side of you. Okay, so there is something definitely going on there. So they're just talking about you like connecting with yourself basically, and not overthinking things as well. Because whatever, when you do that, because we have the Eight of Cups here underneath it, and then the Sun. Because when we do that, it's like the Eight of Cups is talking about, we're able to, walk away from something in the sense, or leave something behind without feeling, too, I guess, without feeling too bad, guilty, or those are the two words that are about ourselves, for releasing something and leaving that in the past. So some of it, I feel like this is about grief, and some of the grief, as in somebody passing, grief as in relationships, and grief as stuff that's going on in the family. It's kind of come through like there's a grieving sort of a process we're feeling, which is like, even if there's some of you may be moving from out of a marital sort of relationship, and some of you into another one, and some of you it may be that you're moving into a new relationship, or rather, some of you is brand new, but they're just like shifting the word new, so into a relationship where you may have lost someone, whether it's years ago, a few years ago, and maybe like just holding yourself off. And some of you may be sitting on the fence, or some of you may be just thinking, oh my gosh, so what's going on there with yourself. So it's not necessarily around relationships in that way, but it could be something else, okay, that they're also talking about, and they're like really listening and tuning into your intuition, basically, and defining or deciding or discerning, or rather, what is your intuition, and what is an emotional, that emotional thought, feeling that is going on there, and is it true to what it is where you're feeling like you're needing to go. So there's a difference between that. So I'll kind of like I'm just getting them to get, I had a beautiful way of how to explain that before, and now it's just gone out the window. So they're obviously wanting to change things around. So looking from, I'm hearing like looking at things from a different point of view, because sometimes we can word things, talking about in a way, or use words, or use actions, and take away in a way a shortcut, and where they're saying to like, don't try and run away from it, don't run through it fast, take your time and process it, so you have more knowledge and understanding with that. So this is about, and then that way you are more able to release it, so you are more able to move forward into the unknown about what it is. And that's what they're talking about here. Interesting, there's that beautiful moon in the back, in front there, that he's walking toward in front of him. So, and facing, basically, I feel like this is about facing your emotions and saying that with where they're going through that. And the moon cycles are amazing to help us to like shift through those. So this is why in Mercury, so Mercury will make us slow down, and it's a good time and make us rest. So don't fight it, and go in there and and do some delving there, and you'll be surprised if you, depending on how which way that's up to you, which way you take what's coming up. You can sit in it in self-pity and keep wallowing in it, or you can, understand what that wallowing and that self-pity is about, and move forward and use that to empower you rather than hold you back. Because we have the sun here, like this is about walking towards the sun. And it's interesting because the moon here, you've got this card, so it's moving, there's that hope there, and that inspiration and that desire, as well as you walk towards not just the sun, but everything else that is moving in your life. And I'm talking the show because I was drawing you to the planets that revolve and evolving around the sun, the planet, the moon, all those sorts of things. And each one does a slightly different thing, but has a most powerful energy. So then we have passion here. So they're doing a mind, body, spirit, and soul flow here again, as usual, but there are messages from your guides that are coming through, and messages from the energy of Capricorn as well, telling you, but also the planets as well. So we have there are a lot, we have some light being energy here, or star seed energy here from the stars that are connecting with us today, or me today, to bring through these messages and sharing the energy. So just as I have started talking about that and mentioning that, you might have felt might have felt, you may have felt the energy just shift then into, you may have felt your energy just shift, or the energy just shift. So don't overthink that. If you haven't, that's okay, because it can be quite subtle, and it can be, subconscious in a way is the word that they're using. So you may not necessarily have noticed it and you may not until a little bit later, and you understand something or notice something has possibly shifted, and it's like, oh, okay, I didn't notice that before, but now I get it. I get that now. So passion. So this is about like clearing that stuff out of your mind, and allowing yourself to see the future. And when we do that, it starts to, like, this passion here from Archangel Haniel is trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career, which is pretty much where they were going with what they're talking about there. So what this is, it's like to help you shift through and to find that gusto, you could say, or that energy, or where, and that joy and that happiness within you, and just allowing yourself to be. And whether you want to call it passion or drive or centeredness or focus, but whatever lifts your energy and your soul to help, that helps you to move forward or move on, or try, and move on in the sense is like, give something a go, step outside of the circle or of the people that you normally do that may be draining your energy, or, or step outside outside of the house and experience life. Make different choices, change something up, and to shift the narrative of where you already are, which opens up a window. That's kind of like the just suggestions, or, and that kind of where they're going with that. And it's interesting that I'm saying kind of where they're going. So there's a sense of uncertainty there, which is what they're meaning by that, is like, it's coming through in the way that I'm speaking at the moment. So it's like, yeah, and it's like, I'm not sure. There's that uncertainty there. So give it a shot, they're saying. So the Page of Cups here is like there's on a journey of, like of knowledge, I'm hearing, of wanting to learn and share information, but learn information as well. I feel like there's a sense of, looking at this card, there's more, wanting to, experience more as well. So yeah, that's interesting, because I'm just feeling like this is also about grounding yourself, Capricorn. So even though you are an earth side, they're talking about grounding yourself, because when you with your energy change and your perspective and how you're looking and seeing things on an emotional point of view around relationships, people, and all that, all of those sorts of things, here's you, the Knight of Pentacles. It's about you, like, setting some ground rules in a way, not so much for others, but for you. It's like boundaries, and planting some seeds. And I feel like you've already done some groundwork, like moving on in the future, but there's something else that needs to take place, and only you can do that. And it's probably a slow but sure sort of thing that is going on with whatever it is with you, that is going with you. But probably I would say it would be around health, wealth and family, health and well-being, and family as well. And wealth is, or career, work, that sort of thing, financial side of things, and how you're going to manage that is the other words that I'm hearing. But there is something, that is, you've got something going, it's now just building on it. And it's like interesting here, it's about prioritizing. Archangel Metatron says, focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. So there's, just know that there are energies, whether it be the angels, and there are other, energies out there, whether it be loved ones in spirit, tupuna there that are there, working with you, and helping to lift your spirits and your energy so you can move into, or guidance, and basically. So, but only we can, it's up to us whether we choose to, take these prompts that our intuition is giving us and what we feel drawn to do. And you may be getting signs from, the universe, from your loved ones, dropping notes to say to you through butterflies or whatever, and letting you know that they're around. you know, that they're there to in support of you, and they may not necessarily be able to do anything as far as make things happen, you know, or, you know, shift things around, because at the end of the day, once again, it's up to us to actually make it, not force it, but, you know, take actionable steps towards, you know, and make an effort towards what it is that we're wanting to achieve, you know. So anyway, these, whether it be change, some sort of change, is what they've just thrown in there. So the Two of Cups here is, you know, there's some friendships or relationships, partnerships that are there. So it could be they're talking about, for some of you, is like, what is that your partnership about? So there, some of you, there could be a commitment, you know, there's something new. It could be, you know, taking the next level. It could be that you're building more of the relationship with yourself, making a promise to yourself in your relationship with you, and how you're going to commit to yourself to doing blah, 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 whatever it is. This year, I'm hearing, is like in looking at things differently. This one here is the Eight of Swords here, so there is some change around. There's a few eights here, so there's definitely, you know, rise for change here, but it's in, you know, but with this Eight of Swords, it's like, you know, taking the blindfold off, and sometimes we don't necessarily always need to know where we're going. So, you know, the blindfold is on there with her, and she's got her hands bound. Her feet aren't bound, and her hands are only bound loosely. So this is in your own hands as to where, you know, or what this, you know, your next actionable steps are for you. But it's about your choice, basically. Because there are swords there, they're not, you know, firmly anchored in the ground, because a lot of it will be in your mind, in your head, but also they're not, you know, they're positioned, you know, at a distance apart, so you could quite easily get through them. So it's like nothing, you know, there's nothing really there. It's an illusion that is there, and that we have in our mind at times, and it, you know, based on past circumstances and things like that. So they're talking about, as you're going through this process to nurture, you know, yourself. Do not, you know, beat yourself up to a pulp. You know, there are things that may come up where you may feel, you know, guilty or bad about something because you're moving this way or that way and somebody's not coming with you. But we all have our own journey, and sometimes we've got to create boundaries, sometimes we've outgrown something. So and it's not necessarily that you're pushing people away or you're pushing that away, and sometimes we've just got to release things, whether it's a physical thing or an emotional thing or a you know, or whatever it is, you know, releasing it. So Archangel Gabriel is like, as you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. So there's something, you know, that maybe this month, or maybe even just cropping up now for you, that is maybe you're realizing or noticing it now. So, and there is something about strength and courage there. So with this card here, the Strength card coming through. So it's like you will get through this, and this will pass, but whatever it is that you're processing, and or whatever it is that is going on, but there's a sense of, you know, Eight of Wands again, eight of Wands. Now it's like, you know, shifting your perspective, shifting your sights into what it is that you're wanting to do, and go, you know, take this forward movement, or take this movement into making these steps physically, and taking action, basically, or moving towards what it is, or in the direction of where you need to go, you know, to in order for, you know, whether they're talking in order for what it is that you sense that you're wanting to, where you're wanting to go, and where you've planned to go, and along the way, yes, things there may be needing adaptations and that sort of thing, but this is about you, you know, going and taking steps, taking action, basically. And I feel like you're maybe telling a lie to yourself that's like, I don't know what to do, I'm not sure. But this card here has come up, Archangel Uriel. You know what to do. Trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. So, you know, even though there may be some, you know, some things that you may be feeling restrictions at the moment, whether it be your health or, you know, financially in your well-being, might not necessarily be now, but you may be thinking more in the future. It's like, okay, that's in the future, but what do I need to do now? So there's a sense of being, you know, like in the moment to making decisions as to what you need to do now. And it will, you know, and I'm talking about, yes, it will reflect on what the future have, you know, not necessarily in a negative way as to taking the actions what you do now, but you've got to focus on where you are now, and but also, you know, also taking actionable steps into the future, you know, that into the future as well. And so some of you are like, this is going to be, some of you will understand more the first part of what I've just said, which has come through, and others are you going to understand more the second part of what I've just said. So depending on what is going on for you, will, you know, each, and some of you will like understand both of what I've said. So it's like discerning, you know, for yourself, and taking responsibility and action for your actions as well. So there will be something on that side and something on that side, in the sense of, you know, what they've just said about, you know, about movement and the way that you're going to move with it. Okay, wow. Okay, I'm just going to want to, I've got there's some other cards coming through. I just want to like clarify that a bit more, and see if we can pull out a bit more information about what is going on there through this message. What they're, I don't want to take all of those. Push that deck away there. So, there's a sense of stubbornness or closed-mindedness, not wanting to shift or change, digging the toes in, you know, there's that sort of thing, or digging the hoof in. So they just say, you know, like moving forward or moving into moving out of a situation, you know, but it's like only you can do that. There's something about, you know, shifting the way, you know, taking some steps or actionable steps into, you know, and things will not, you know, probably not be as bad as what you think, which is generally what happens. It's like, what is, you know, our mind gets in the way. Judgment. So this is like, you know, freeing yourself of judgment. And the Queen of Swords has come through here on a physical level. Here is like, you may be needing to, you know, take charge of something, but also take charge of yourself and be mindful about how you speak with people, but have that passion about that drive into, you know, as to where it is or what it is that you're wanting to clear up. But it's also making decisions and you know, being decisive. You know, but in communication is the being decisive and communicating are the two big things that are coming through here. But the Queen of Hearts, she can be quite sharp. She can be and very to the point. So, and that's not bad. And it depends on how you deliver that, you know, and being honest. And not everybody likes that, you know, and so, and that's their stuff on saying that. But there's the other side of that too. It depends on how you where you are in your mindset about how and why you've spoken in the way that you have. So I feel it goes back to you being mindful about how you do that, so you don't hurt yourself, basically, in the sense that your conscience doesn't get the better of you. So the two key words that have come through for me this morning is, you know, to talk about today with which is another video like I'm doing later, is about consciousness and conscience, basically. Okay. So the Four of Swords and the Nine of Swords. So yeah, this is kind of like, the Four of Swords is like taking a little bit of a rest, prioritizing. So it may be that you're needing to rest or be still in order to figure out where, you know, to focus, like Metatron is saying there, focus on your highest priorities. And, you know, and he will help you get organized and motivated. But it's got something to do, you know, with you being, you know, loving yourself as well with this partnership and this one here with the Two of Cups. and not restricting yourself as far as like what it is or where it is, with what is going on, overthinking it, because this is once again, taking some time out for yourself with the Nine of Swords. And once again, you've got the Nine of Swords here, so this is around about releasing, going in there may about nightmares and things like that, and you may be which is you might be seeing it as nightmares, but these are like your nightmares that through the overthinking, basically. So I'll just, there's something about releasing that, and allowing yourself to bring that to an end. But only you can do that, okay? It's only you, and only ourselves. But there seems to be like you're starting to get something when you release yourself from here and you allow yourself to move out of that space and get out of your head a little bit more, and start to reason with yourself. And I'm hearing like reasoning with what is going on, not making excuses, and that sort of thing. Is where they're going with that. They're having a little bit of good, but it's a little bit of a giggle in a way, but like they just bring the smile and the energy. Is that's not, there's this a sense of seriousness about thing, but maybe, and things may be serious, but it's kind of like maybe they're not as serious as you've made them out to be, or as you because sometimes we can get caught up in that. They're talking, you can get caught up in that, but maybe it's not as serious as you've made it out to be in your head. Okay. The star here, the star of hope, the star of joy, the star of purpose, the star of whatever, the star of, like she's sitting there and it's that wish, but it's also, blowing out a wish. And there, the wish there is the chakras, actually, the 7 main chakras, which is interesting because I bought out the 7 chakra incense to burn. And so that's what's burning now. So just clearing your chakras, which could be, doing a meditation, going for a walk, doing, that sort of thing, just taking a break, and feeling your energy, around your energy, and, doing your prayer or your karakia or your incantation, whatever that is, and setting your sacred space, which is you and your energy, what they're talking about right now. And getting your mindset, shifting your mindset, or, getting your mindset in a space where it's more, I guess, positively productive is the word that are the words that they're bringing here. So the star, I want to say, of hope, but hopeful with joy, with positivity, with forward movement, with all those sorts of things. Not hope in a needy way, with a with that energy of lack and that sort of thing. So fill your cup up with the hope of this joy, peace, and what you desire, and that energy of that passion in that sort of way, in order to magnetize or manifest what it is that you're wanting to magnetize to you, but also you be magnetized to align you, or that or alignment, which way you see that. So anyway, there's the start. So I'm going to leave that there right now for you, Capricorn. I hope that makes sense for you. I hope that like zhuzhes your energy up a little bit more. It gives you a little bit of understanding what could be going on for you, and as you're moving forward. So it's a beautiful reading. They're beautiful cards, even though there's a little bit of a push and a shove there to shift whatever that perspective is. So the energy here at the moment with the full moon is reminding you to be nice to yourself as you're going through all this stuff, and it will bring up things in the past, which is, and maybe in the now, but there's the past stuff in the now, that is maybe showing up some stuff that's happening in the now, in order to clear it so you can have a clearer understanding, knowing, as you move forward into your life, or as you move into your life, journey into this next phase of your life. Okay, anyway, I'm going to leave it there, like I said, with lots of love, peace, harmony, joy, excitement, adventure, and prosperity and abundance, and with this loads of healing energy that these light beings have encoded into this this reading today, or downloaded, whichever way you look at it, but have brought to the energy here today for you, and also myself, because I didn't get to bathe in it too. So anyway, God bless you, and we'll catch you probably next week or the end of next week as I move into the February readings for you. Okay, bye for now.